everybody. Well, it's Friday. It's Friday morning. It's cold. It's flurrying snow. Partly cloudy. Sun's peeking out every once in a while. Got about a 5-10 mile per hour wind. Gusting up to about 20 to 30 miles per hour. We're back up on top of the mountain where I was having action Tuesday and Wednesday. So it's about 8:30 right now. Haven't seen nothing. But normally my deer start moving up here around 9, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30. Right there from about 9 to 11 is when the deer start crossing this. So, fingers crossed. I have a good feeling about this morning. All I need is one more chance. Got the gun set. We know it's set now. I need one more chance, one more opportunity, and I'll get it done. So y'all stick with us. I know this week's been kind of tough. We haven't had a whole lot of camp videos. We didn't have our normal, get to camp celebration. We've been plagued with problems and stuff this whole week since we got here that led to disaster. If you want to call it that. For me, it's a disaster. Forgetting to check my gun zero. And then missing $2 on Tuesday. But it's been a tough one for us. So if y'all made it this far, man, we love you. Thanks for sticking with us even through the bad times. And hopefully we get some action for you today. Hopefully we get some video to make it all worth your while. You got to keep the faith. It could happen at any minute. Last year, I hunted all week. I didn't kill anything. I come up here on Friday. Really didn't expect to see anything. And about 10:30, that 6-point came walking up out of this holler over here, and I shot and killed him. You just got to keep that faith. So I'm gonna stop rambling. A lot of people hate the rambling, so y'all stick with us. We'll check back in here in a little while.
Hey everybody, it's Friday, December the 6th. Jared and I are back up on the mountain. Other than I'm not out from Jared this time. He's at his spot. I'm over here where we were testing a couple new cameras. I've been out here before, but not really hunted it like I have my favorite ridge. But I decided today I was going to give it a try because I had not seen anything on my ridge. So this is a nice big flat. It's right above camp, but you can't get to it without driving up the mountain and walking up the old logging road because it's just straight up and down behind the camper to the creek. And so I'm gonna give it a try here. This will be our last day because we'll be heading home tomorrow. It is still cold. The wind's still blowing, but it's not gusting that 45 to 55 mile per hour gusts. But we're gonna see what happens. The camera we had set out here, Jared had a doe in here feeding. We know there's mast. He had a squirrel in front of the camera. My camera was more out that way, probably 200-300 yards. There's a holler comes down this way, a holler comes down that way, meets and converges and goes down to the main road coming up the mountain. And I think it was a 4-point on my camera over there that I was testing. So I know there was a couple deer in here. So we'll just have to see what happens. You stick with us. Okay, we've been in here for several hours now. It's a little after 11. The clouds have pretty much, well, there's still a few, but I'm able to stand in the sun to get a little bit of warmth. I haven't seen anything. First report I done, we had some gusty winds, and then they died down. Then they pick up again. Right now it's not too bad. I can hear back out towards Jared. Yeah, he's that way. I can hear the wind back out through there. But you also, I don't think you can see back over there. It's the Virginia line back there. There's a deep hollow. That's the hollow we come up to get up here where we're at. And just hasn't been nothing. There's a dusting of snow on the ground. It's starting to melt off. I think it's supposed to get into the low 30s. And with the sun hitting it, it is melting. There is some warmth behind that sun. But again, I do apologize that not a lot to these videos this year, and I found out I don't know how many of my fellow YouTubers that video their hunts in late November, December, use GoPros. They just do not work in this extreme cold. Last night there was a wind chill advisory. It was supposed to be like 13 below with those winds. They're telling people on this National Weather Service, NOAA weather radio, about hypothermia and making sure your skin was covered. And if you was out. But now the GoPros, those batteries are junk. If it's not warm weather, they're not gonna last. I mean, I had them fully charged. Came up that first day. I shot some video with, I think it was the Hero 8. And it didn't go off. It was full charge. And then later, I was using the chest rig, which is a GoPro 7 Hero Black. And I had it clamped to the tree like I got this cell phone. And I started, my talk, and it went like 3 or 4 seconds and it just went off. So I grabbed the Hero 8 Black, mounted it, started, 2 to 3 seconds, bam, it went off. I think I even got the spare battery packs out and changed it in the 8, and they were just enough power to turn it on and it go right back out. So that tells you how cold it was. It basically made the GoPros useless. So I've been doing my talk to you guys with my iPhone. I think Jared's doing the same thing. I've shot some panoramic shots with my Canon, which it's holding up. The cold hasn't depleted the battery on it. I mean, when I have it fully charged, I got about 128 minutes. I think's what it is on that battery. And I've only had to charge it this whole week. I've only had to charge it twice, and it wasn't dead. It was down to 47 minutes, 50 some minutes. So it wasn't dead. It's just I went ahead and charged it. But I just want to give this little report. It's about, I think about 11:30. We will be headed home tomorrow, so we won't be hunting tomorrow. And I don't know if we'll hunt Sunday or not back home. But it's been a fun time up here at camp. I mean, yeah, it started out crappy. We got up here, no problems. We was excited. Got the camper back in the spot where we had it last year. Went to try to get that slide out. It all went downhill from there. So, and as cold as it's been, we went through, let's see, 2, 4, I think 4 propane tanks. We're on the 5th one now. These are 20 pounders. And then we went through 25 gallons of gasoline for the generator. I think we got 5 gallons left. We're having to run the generator as soon as we get back to camp. We have to start the generator up and then run it until morning. So his battery, because of that furnace and his refrigerator, the only 2 things, if you don't let that generator run through the night, that battery will be down to 10 volts, 9.8 volts, and the solar panel ain't keeping it up. So it's just because that refrigerator has to run, keep things cool. But the blower motor on that furnace, the furnace has had to kick on and off so much because it's just so cold. This has been the coldest deer hunting trip that I can remember for years and years and years. Not this bitter cold. The last time it was this bitter cold, it was colder really. We were camped down underneath that pine tree with the bus. And my father-in-law was up in the holler back that way, and I was up above him, almost on the state line. And I had gotten so cold, I was shivering. And I was just sitting there by a tree. Next thing I knew, I'm warm. And I knew something wasn't right, not to be shivering like I was. And I stood up, and I ached and hurt all over. And it hurt to walk down to where he was at. And I told him, I got to go back to the bus. Those fighter jets have been flying over. I bet there's been 10 of them. And then I just happened to look up. I haven't seen them, but I happened to look up and I seen that strange looking, I guess it's a jet stream from one of those jets, maybe two of them, because there's two of those. You can see it right there. But they do their practice maneuvers along this national forest, I know. Well, it's almost noon. I haven't seen anything. It's been pretty windy. It's cold. The wind hasn't been real bad. Figured the deer would still move, especially with it being as cold as it is. But I'm gonna go check my camera down here. We weren't up here at all yesterday, so I'm gonna go see if it had any pictures yesterday during those real bad winds, or the night before, or last night, or even this morning before I got up here. This will be the last time I check that camera until probably February, March. Deer Camp 2025 is winding down. We just have a few more hours on the mountain. We go home tomorrow. And I tell you, the last day,
The last day on the mountain of any of the hunting trips. It has a sad feel. From the excitement that you have in that first video, you know, that first day on the mountain. To that last day. Just because it's over, you don't get to do it again for a whole nother year. And then you hope that you do get to do it again in another year. You always wonder, is this going to be the last time you see this mountain? It's a heartbreaking thought. Y'all stick with us.
Hey, Cornbread, just wanted to let you know it made it to deer camp. Of course, haven't been able to do anything with it yet. But Jared's got the one that I got his pawpaw years ago that I ended up giving him. And you sent me this one. So he's carrying the one I got his pawpaw. And I'm carrying the one you sent me. But we haven't had any luck yet. But I just wanted to let you know that knife, I appreciate it so much. The way Jared and I have pretty much matching knives. Just like our bucks we've got. We're both carrying charades today. Well, we've been carrying them all week. My buck is up here, but it's down in the camper. I think Jared may have his with him too, but the charades are the ones we're carrying. So I appreciate you, Mike. Cornbread. I call you Mike. I can't get used to calling people nicknames, but appreciate the knife so much. So I'll get back to hunting. Hope you're having a good week. Well, another hour's gone by. It's 12:30. Haven't seen hide nor hair of any life up here. The sun has got some warmth if you can stay in the light of it. I need to come up here in the spring and and I don't know if I could do it or not, being it's in the national forest, but my good buddy Mike Reed, that's down in Virginia, I call him my good buddy. I watch his videos, he watches ours. And what's his channel? Survival Man. I think, I can't remember, Mike Reed Survival Man or something like that. He does a lot of blacksmithing stuff and hunting videos and preaching the gospel. And, I really appreciate him doing that. There's not many YouTubers that goes out and does that. But I think he's got a Sunday service and he's got a Wednesday night service. He does them live. But down there where he lives at in Virginia, I don't know if he's in the national forest or not, but he has at least, I know one, maybe two of these shelters built along the hillside. just taking natural fallen timber and stacking it up and putting tarp over it, dressing it in with some leaves and limbs and stuff like that. To where when he's hunting, when it's like this, or if it's raining, he can get to his shelter and it's got one opening where he goes in, and he can, the way he's got it situated, he can sit and hunt and watch the hillside and everything out in front of him from inside that shelter. But when it's windy like this or it's raining, he can get to that shelter, get out of that wind, and he can, carries him a little butane, isobutane little stove or whatever. He can fix him up. He'll go, he's a naturalist. He get out here and get these long needled pines and make him some hot pine tea. I guess that's what you call it. But all these years hunting up here, 42 years, and never thought about possibly building a shelter to get myself out of the wind. Because the way the wind is up here, it's every year you're up here, there's always wind. And you just have to hunt in the wind. But just wanted to give another report. That's all I'm doing. I don't have any video of squirrels or anything because there ain't none out. Jared said he heard one barking down at camp this morning, so we thought, oh, this is going to be a good day then. Squirrels will be out. If squirrels are out, deer will be moving maybe. But so far nothing, and I haven't heard from Jared. I'm hoping he's warm. But I keep watching down this holler and over here on this other hillside. This other hillside's a thicket. But you've seen that in the little panoramic shot I done earlier. But I've heard some crows, just heard one just now. But not much else to report. Just the sun's out, standing in that sun is nice. When there's not a cloud obscuring it. But we're going to give it our best. That's all you can ever do when you go hunting. That's why it's called hunting. You're not guaranteed, especially hunting the national forest, you're not guaranteed you're going to get a deer. I mean, poor Jared, he would have had his Tuesday if that scope. Well, we'll just not get into that. Those scopes won't be on these rifles next year. In fact, I've already told Jared as soon as I get home, I'm getting online. And I think in a previous, I think it was Tuesday when I was talking about the scope, I said my 700 had a burris on it. No. And I know I'm going to get some comments. But, it is what it is. I have a Bushnell banner. And basically, you got your crosshairs, but where the center crosshairs go thin, you have a small circle. So, once you get that thing zeroed, you don't have to pay attention to actually the crosshair. As long as you got that little circle that crosshair's in on target, you're going to hit it. Not had any issues with that gun, with that scope on that gun. So I told Jared as soon as I get home, get showered and everything, get relaxed, get my laptop out, and I'm ordering that scope. And it's going to go on this rifle. And I know I've had people tell me, when I done the review of the 700, and I told what scope was on it, that, oh, you need a better scope, It is what it is. I'm not going to go out here and pay $900, $1,200 for a scope. That with the Bushnell banner, I can get the same thing done. I hunted with Tascos back in the early 80s, mid 80s, up until 90s. The older Tascos Wasn't a thing wrong with them, and today they're still in those rifles, and there ain't a thing wrong with them. So it does the job, and that's all I care about. I wish these rifles would have had, and I know we'll get some comments about this. I wish these rifles had iron sights, and we had a low profile see-through mount, because that second buck Jared shot after he couldn't find the first one, and that second one gave him an opportunity. If he knew his scope was off because he didn't get that first one, he could drop down the iron sights and he would have had the second one. But that's neither here nor there. The age of the bolt action rifle nowadays is no iron sights. So, but call me old fashioned. I know there's been a lot of comments made about my rifles with high rise mounts, my scopes that I have. Sorry, it works for me. It may not be what you like, but I like it. I can live with it. I have no problem. It's a those high rise mounts, it's a extra benefit. I have iron sights on my rifle. If my scope, Tasco, Bushnell, whatever, would fail me, I can drop down to the iron sights and use them, and don't have to take the scope off to do it. So that's how I feel about that stuff. That's about all this hunting trip's going to be, is how we feel about things. Now, enough. I'm going to shut up, get back to hunting. I appreciate you listening to me, and if you agree with me, fine. If you don't agree with me, fine. Just understand what you like and what I like could be two different things.
Well, everybody, it's almost 15 after 2. We normally start heading down out of here about 3 o'clock. The trail's gotten so bad down through there, trying to get out in the dark it's real treacherous. Haven't seen nothing today, not a thing. Dad hasn't seen nothing. He even hunted a new spot today, which I'm sure you know by this point. But undoubtedly the weather that went through yesterday, and then we're partially still experiencing today, with the winds and stuff. Sky's clear, no clouds, sun's out. If you can get directly in the sun, the sun's got some warmth, but it's frigid cold. I've still got snow. See if I can tilt this down. I've still got snow around my spot here. And places that are shaded pretty good, that don't get direct sunlight, still got some snow. It was only supposed to get up to about 30 today, I think. With the wind chill, it's probably about 10 or 0. It's real disappointing. A few times I had deer in here. Of course, I didn't get them on camera. Beat myself up over that, but I had well, not good deer movement, but I had that buck come in Tuesday, shot at him. Just after I shot him, shot at him, I didn't hit him. I had a spike come out of this holler. I mean, almost immediate after the shot. Well, it was a 3-point, it wasn't a spike. But he come out of the holler right there. I went and looked for the buck that I shot at, realized I didn't hit him, looked in the next holler over. The 3-point was coming down through it, so I thought, well, I'm going to shoot at him. So I shot at him. I missed him 3 times. I shot twice, and he had no clue what was even going on. The bullet was nowhere near him. After the second shot, he kind of ran up the hill a little ways, and I pulled for him again and shot. He ran out alongside the ridge and then up over the top. I went and checked, never touched him, never even came close to him. Checked the gun. I was shooting probably about 2 foot over their backs. Putting that gun in and out of a case, that top turret or whatever you call it, that adjusts your elevation. Every time it would go in and out of a case, or something would bump it, or you walk through a laurel bush, or any type of brush that can hit it, it'll turn it. If you're wearing a backpack, or even if you're not wearing a backpack, and you put the gun on your shoulder, carrying it with the sling, that knob will turn. And got it set, come back in here Wednesday, I had deer. I'd seen 6 deer and a bear. I had 3 does coming this way. 2 does ran across the point over here. That bear pushed a deer. I think the bear done it. I think it was the 3-point. Again, he come down out of there, come up this other side. By the time I pinpointed him, realized where he was at, I had a lot of brush and stuff in the way. Couldn't get a good shot at him. Didn't have the angle on him. And I thought he was going towards Dad, so I was like, well, instead of taking a risky shot, I'll just let him walk into Dad. Well, he didn't go to Dad. Dad never seen him. And then I seen that bear, and then had the bear come in close to me. So Wednesday, the wildlife was moving pretty good. Yesterday, the weather was horrific. I checked my camera here a little while ago, and there was nothing on it. Now, that doesn't mean it didn't move up here, but that's a hot spot. And there wasn't a deer on it. So with those bad winds yesterday, they've moved down off these tops, and they haven't filtered back up yet. I'd say as soon as this wind breaks and all this, they'll probably filter back up, but it'll be too late then. If y'all made it this far, man, we appreciate you. It's been rough. It's been a real tough hunting season. It's including bow season. I think I only seen 2 deer, maybe 3 deer during bow season. We still have muzzleloader season, but with the way my job is, I might get 1 day to muzzleloader hunt. So there's a good possibility I don't even get to muzzleloader hunt. Bow season doesn't go out till the 31st, but I might try to get a deer down on my farm. I don't know how much time I'll have to try to get over to the hunting club. But this will be my closing video for Camp Charlie 2025. Dad may shoot some more. We go home tomorrow. But as far as for me in the woods, I'd like to thank y'all for watching. Maybe maybe next year will be better. Y'all stick with us. This is hunting.
Well, this was probably the last video from up on the mountain. Just talked to Jared, going on 2:30. I don't know if you can hear that wind or not. As long as you sit in the sun or stand in the sun, you got some warmth until that wind blows. He's already walked around trying to get warm. I just done a little bit of walking around, so that's probably it for this year's 2024 Camp Charlie up on the mountain. We appreciate you watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and as we're fond of saying, we'll see you in the woods. Hopefully next year will be a lot better.